Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our live coverage of the WTBA World Championships Women's Team Semifinals here at Sunset Station's Strike Zone Bowling Center. I'm Lucas Wiseman. Neil Strummel is our special guest for this semifinal round. We've got the United States versus Venezuela in one semifinal. The other semifinal is Malaysia versus Korea. The winners in the semifinals will meet for the gold medal tomorrow afternoon. So,
I want to verify that I was brought in as a technical analyst or the color commentator.
That's correct. Neil is both. He's all of the above, and he will help me with the scores in this round and make sure that we've got everything going perfect, because these semifinals can be a bit challenging to track in terms of score. You've got 5 players on each team, and they combine their scores for one team game total, and the high team game total wins the match. And Neil, you've been to some World Championships in the past few years, and there's been a lot of exciting semifinals and finals in this format since it switched over to it the last couple of years.
There certainly have. It's almost impossible to get through a championship without some really last-minute, high-intense finals. So, we start off with, frame one, and it just slowly builds from there. We already have Korea with the first 2 strikes, so they're already hyped up and raring to go. And as I say that, we almost leave a bucket down on 58.
Never fails, the commentator's jinx. So these matches are going to take probably, I would guess, at least an hour and 15 minutes, somewhere in there, hour and 20, depending on how close they are. And it's going to be a while before we have an idea what the trend is going to be.
Yes, and since we are the U.S. is bowling against Venezuela, it might be 2.5 hours.
If it takes that long, then I'm going to let you handle this by yourself, because
I'll wake you up when it gets close.
It should be entertaining, I think. You've got obviously some of the best teams in the world here, and Team USA, the defending champions, and Korea, they won a couple of times before, and Malaysia's won in recent years, and so Venezuela kind of the underdog here, I think, in this round. They were just kind of slipped in at the last second in the qualifying.
They did. They jumped right in and finished solidly. Obviously, they got the Marcano sisters, and great anchor bowlers they are. But, USA is the defending champ. A couple of times before that, the teams they lost to were Malaysia and Singapore and maybe Mexico. But Korea has been right there many times as well, and it's really a great rivalry between the U.S. and Korea. And they're the 1-2 seeds here, and if they both move on, they will face each other tomorrow night for the gold medal. Right now we have a couple of spares from both U.S. and Venezuela, and now Joan just managed to carry a strike on the right lane.
I'll tell you, Shannon carries one as well. The Venezuelans really survived the final game of team qualifying. They had some teams right on their heels. Germany just missed by like 20 pins, 19 pins, and so the Venezuelans came on strong at the end, and they did what they needed to do to reach this point, and their reward is they get to take on the defending champions, Team USA, which is a tough match for anybody.
Yeah, it always appears that we are, I don't know if dominant is really the right word, but we have a lot of the names, and so it's got to be a little intimidating. But we see time and time again that countries just aren't intimidated. They get up there and they, throw some great shots and some great games at us, and we've been lucky to survive over the last few years and pull out the gold medal in each area, men's, women's, boys, and girls. We're the reigning world champions.
And Venezuela has bowled against Team USA so many times before. They're very familiar with the United States, bowling the same zone. So this is not going to be anything unfamiliar for the Venezuelan team. But you get the feeling if Team USA can kind of get out to a big start, kind of put the screws on a little bit, Venezuela is going to have to show a little maple moxie, as Randy Peterson would say, to see if they can keep up. Team USA will try to test them early, I think.
If at all possible, we can try and put some pressure on them and see how they react, because put the pressure on them, it'll be tough.
So do we know, Neil, what patterns were picked for each of these semifinals? Because the top seed got to pick, which would be the United States and Malaysia, I believe.
Correct. So I think I said Korea was the number 2 seed. In actuality, they are the number 3 seed, because they would have chose short, which is pattern that they definitely did better on. It was the medium pattern here, Seoul, that the U.S. women just rocketed up the leaderboard yesterday. They bowled 3 games yesterday and went from, help me out, I think 11th to 6th.
Yeah, they went up pretty quick.
To 2nd or 3rd to 1st, and they just shot right up. So they were on fire on this pattern. So as the number 1 seed, Team USA gets to select the pattern, and of course we're going to choose that medium pattern right off the bat. Malaysia chose that medium pattern as well, the Seoul pattern, which is 39 feet. Stephanie Nation with a strike in the 2nd frame. So Malaysia chose that as well, because Korea did very well on the short pattern, the 33-foot short pattern.
Pretty drastic difference between the short pattern and the medium pattern in terms of scoring pace. Some of the teams seem to like the short versus the medium, but a lot of the teams like the medium better than the short. And my guess is the fact that Team USA got to the number 1 seed and gets choice of pattern in both matches should they advance was a big deal for them, because they were pretty awful on the short, to be honest with you.
Yeah, like I said, they were, I think, 11th.
Yeah, it was not good.
That's not normal for us. Missy Parkin with a strike in the 2nd, so we're off to a good start here in this match, and especially the 2nd frame.
So Malaysia and Korea, let's talk about them a little bit, since we've kind of talked about the USA and Venezuela most of the time so far. But Malaysia, obviously a very experienced team, a lot of good bowlers on that squad, and they've won plenty of medals in the past, kind of led by the veteran on the team, Shaolin Zulkifli. And,
yes.
Stephanie leaves a 4-pin, but a very experienced Malaysian squad, also a very experienced Korean squad. They've got multiple-time world champions on that team, and
yeah, there's definitely a lot of medals over on that side of the stage here for us. Malaysia doesn't seem to leave a championship without managing medals somewhere, somehow, and in actuality, they hadn't medaled up until this point. Now they're guaranteed a medal, and I think it's their only medal then for the week, men or women, which is very surprising, but they weren't going to be denied. They managed to work their way into the number 2 spot and guaranteed a medal here, win or lose.
Yeah, the losers in this round share the bronze medal, and the winners obviously go on to bowl for the gold medal tomorrow. And it's these medals are so important. We see so much pressure and intensity when it gets close to the end, and teams are jostling for position to get into the medal round, because a lot of teams, their funding is based on how many medals they win, and if they win a medal. And I know it's a big deal for Malaysia and Korea to win a gold medal in the World Championships.
Exactly. Any medal, I believe, is a big deal for them, but the gold medal obviously is the biggest, the most important, and has the biggest impact on their program, and in many cases impact financially for the individuals who win the medal. So the Korean team, the Malaysian team have, I don't know their exact scenario, but they have some of that incentive, and this will affect their lives if they can manage a gold medal. As I said, it's already been good for them. They're going to medal for sure either way, and but the gold medal is obviously the key and the biggest influence on their country and their team. Yeah, Korea has, we talked about Malaysia a little bit. Korea has quite a group of young ladies here who have medaled throughout this championship, as well as the last several for the past couple of years, including 2 years ago in Hong Kong. So they always have a solid team. They work hard. They practice every day And then as they get closer to an event, they have, much stricter, tighter schedules for practice. So I would say probably for the last 2-3 months, they've practiced every day for several hours, and they've worked out every day for a few hours to prepare for this.
A lot of hard work definitely goes into getting these teams here, that's for sure. And so far, I don't think we've seen a double on either match in this. We're in the second frame.
No, the U.S. we have 5 strikes and 5 bowlers, but not a double. Everybody's
got a strike, but nobody's put them together.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a bad open there for Karen Marcano.
She's gone open. That's not a good start for her. Liz had opened in the first, but she followed that up with a strike, so that relieves some of the pressure there. We've had a few opens down on the 2-3 side with Korea, Malaysia as well. Esther from Malaysia had a split in the first, and So Young, I struggle with the Korean names, but she had 2-4-5 and chopped that one. So a couple of 10 pins over on the Korean side. We have a breakdown on lane 53 right now, so we shall wait a moment and see how that goes. We actually have oiled breakdown pairs, so we're ready for this, but that will delay things if that continues to be a problem. And it looks like we're okay now.
Sunset's been on top of things. They usually get the breakdowns fixed pretty quick. I don't think we've had any major delays this week, or 2 weeks, I should say.
Yeah, I think in singles, so that seems like forever ago right now, was the only time we had any kind of serious delay. It was in practice, and it took maybe 10 minutes, and that by far is the longest one we've had. So yeah, they've done a very good job. In official practice, actually, you probably don't know this, but we had our biggest breakdown, and they had to steal parts from lane 71 and bring it down to lane 61. And we got that going. So it was official practice, so it wasn't as critical, but you can't ask people to go bowl on lanes that they're not going to bowl on for the tournament.
Sure.
So that was not going to be a benefit to anybody. So they kept it going and made sure that everybody got their practice in on the official lanes.
Well, we hope that you will get on Facebook and Twitter and spread the word about the live streaming here today. So you can send them to bowl.com/world2013, bowl.com/world2013. So please get on social media and let everybody know that you're watching here on bowl.com. The World Championships Women's Team Semifinals. Look at the scoreboard for Team USA and Venezuela. Team USA on the left, Venezuela on the right.
Yeah, it's virtually equal. It's about a 10-pin lead there.
And again, these are the semifinals. The winners will meet tomorrow for the gold medal in the afternoon.
I just saw Veronica Raji wave to me and she wanted me to pass along hello to everyone out there. So hello from Veronica Raji of Chile. Shaolin with a solid strike down on lane 58. Esther spared for Malaysia as well to cover up her open, get herself on the right track.
Still no doubles. Stephanie has chance for the first one, and there it is.
Gets it.
Well, finally, we have a double on the board. That's kind of a slow start.
Yes. Seen a lot of 10 pins, a lot of 2-4-5s, or here we have a 2-4-8-10 for the Korean on 57. I've seen a few of those on that pair already.
Takes a while for these matches to settle in. It's such a long match that it really takes some time for things to settle in and for the players to maybe calm down a little bit, calm the nerves, because this is the big event. This is the one that everybody wants to win.
Yeah, team gold is the most coveted medal of any World Championships, and this is a long match, and there's a lot of adrenaline, a lot of intensity at the beginning, but you need to hold that back, calm down, make good shots, and then once you get relaxed and comfortable, they start to come fast and furious.
Someone asking in the chat, where is Shannon Plahowski? Well, Shannon Plahowski is sitting out because each team can only have 5 players bowl. So one of them has to sit out.
Yeah, each country brings 6 players to the World Championships, and when you bowl singles, doubles, and trios, that works out great. When you get the team, where it's 5-person team, and you're at a point where, depending on which pattern you select, somebody has to sit out. And we selected the medium pattern, Seoul, and unfortunately for Shannon Plahowski, she's been dominant in World Championships. Just 2 years ago, she was the dominant player of that World Championships, and now here she is 2 years later finding herself the low person on the team on the medium, and so Coach Rod Ross has selected to sit her for this semifinal match. Missy gets a 10-pin spare, so still only the 1 double on the board for all the teams combined.
You can find the live scoring at bowl.com/world2013 if you want to find the live scoring. You can follow the frame-by-frame of both of these matches. Looks like Malaysia's up by about a mark, 10 pins or so, after 2 frames. Pretty easy to calculate when nobody's throwing a double, so it's really easy to calculate the score when that happens. Just kind of count the opens and see who's ahead, and right now Malaysia's up by a mark.
And
this is looking like a challenging match so far.
Yeah, lane 57. Everybody's seeming to have not everybody, quite a few are having a hard time getting the ball to finish up into the pocket, coming in light, leaving a 210, 2810, 245. So that lane 57 for both Korea and Malaysia has been a problem. We got to see who has realized this yet and who is making a move, because the coach that pinpoints that soonest, I think, is going to have a big advantage as this game goes on. There's a high shot for Korea that carried for a strike, but still not a double. Kulik steps back off to adjust her grip. So Karen Marcano of Venezuela will step up. She needs to mark to get herself on the board and moving forward. 3 in a row now for Korea down on lane 58. There's a shot for Karen. She needed that. That was a very nice shot. The only strikes thus far this frame for Venezuela, so they all needed that.
Well, the thing that's keeping Venezuela in it is they're, for the most part, making their spares. Only a couple opens so far.
Well, Malaysia finally got the strike on 57. I think that is their first strike on that lane.
Oh, Kelly almost tripped the 2 there.
Fairly good shot for Korea on 58, but a little high, leaving the 10 pin.
Actually, we thought that the USA-Venezuela match was going to be slow. Well, actually, Malaysia and Korea are a little slower.
Yeah, it's a frame or 2 behind.
A bowler or 2 behind.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I knew that's what you meant.
Yeah, good point, though. Frame or 2 behind would be disastrous at this point.
That'd be pretty significant. Alicia with a strike for Venezuela.
So Marcano sisters both strike in the bottom half of the 3rd frame to get their team going.
You just feel like the fans here are begging for something to cheer for at this point.
Yeah.
It hasn't been a lot to cheer for any of the 4 teams thus far.
It's true. We still only have 1 double on the board for all 4 teams. And we're almost completely through 3 frames.
Shaolin has a chance to put a double up in a second, but Liz is going to go first. She also could put a double on the board if she strikes here. I'd bet money that she does.
Yeah, she split on that frame in the first.
Oh,
That's going to be a little high again.
Yeah, I would have lost. She split again. Let's see if Shaolin can put a double. No doubles in that match yet between Malaysia and Korea.
Shaolin needs to make an adjustment to not be as light. And
I
that's a much better ball.
She's so animated. I love it. She gets the emotion. When she knows it's going to strike, she starts running it out and screaming.
Yep.
Gotta love it.
She screamed about a lane and a half away after she finally saw them all go down.
That's good stuff. We need that kind of intensity and excitement in our sport. And
Korea almost left pocket 7-10.
That would have been a pretty wicked 7-10.
Yep, she tripped the 10 out, left the 7. Liz Johnson of USA opens again. Tough split. USA had 2 opens in that frame.
Strike for Sinley Jane.
4 in a row for Malaysia, one of which is a double.
Yeah, so they finally got some strikes going vertically on the scoreboard in that match, but now they got to get them going horizontally. Stephanie, the only one with a double in this match, and she can't turn it into a triple, leaves the 210. Are you surprised the scoring pace is so low early on here, Neil?
Well, I have to say I'm surprised for Team USA. They just bombed them on this pattern yesterday, and they are going to need to get going into that same pace here pretty quick. They're leaving Venezuela too much of an opening, and they're going to get too confident and have the chance to believe in themselves, and that's not what the USA wants to do.
Finally, a double for Korea as Rue, the singles world champion, delivers a double. Stephanie going for the split here.
It looks good.
Yeah.
Solid.
Jason and I were talking this morning about how often it is that these top-level elite bowlers make that 210, 2-4-10. It's incredible the percentage that they make it.
I know in the ITRC that's something that they practice on and work on. You notice the angle that she went at that split. That is not used enough around the world.
Yeah.
You have a much better, so here's the technical commentary from me here now, less color commentary. But that angle is the way you need to go at that split. It's much more difficult to throw at it from the right side as a right-hander. You need to go at it closer to the left gutter, and you have a much bigger margin for error, and you're going to pick that up more often. It's as simple as that.
Another double.
Now has 2 doubles.
Yep. So Korea starting to get it going, and Malaysia's got 4 strikes working in this for the next 4 bowlers, so they'll have a chance to match some of this. Missy Parkin with a strike in the 4th.
Yep, that's her good lane. 2 strikes on that lane. Malaysia spares down on lane 58. And Venezuela opens on lane 53. Venezuela still does not have a double and has 3 opens.
Yep.
U.S. has 3 opens and a double, so that's a 10-pin game. That's
pretty close,
pretty tight. And the U.S. wanted to put some pressure on them early, and that just has not happened at all.
Both matches are pretty close, actually. We are in the 4th frame now.
Yeah, with Korea back-to-back doubles. This is
oh, look at this. I thought I was going to fall forward and take it out for Jacqueline Segura. Well, the Venezuelans are celebrating like they got a double, but it's just a strike. Yep. Be curious to see what their celebrations will be like if Karen could throw another strike for a double.
Shannon with the double wood and gets it.
Very much a team environment for the Venezuelans right now. They're all kind of holding each other, side by side, arms wrapped around each other, trying to
reminiscent of a free throw, to win the game.
Yeah.
In basketball.
They are going to go nuts if Karen strikes here, though. They have a lot. The Venezuelans show a lot of emotion, and we'll see some of that right here if Karen throws another strike. Nope.
3-6-10. Another high shot. Koreans have another strike. It's not a double, but it's 3 out of the last 4 in this frame. Ouch.
Kelly with a super washout in the 4th. Just nobody seems like they're comfortable in either match so far.
Yeah, I don't know if there's nerves with Team USA. They were so dominant yesterday on this pattern. I can't imagine them being in this position right now, but that's where they are. Malaysia doubles.
Yeah, it's important for Malaysia to not let Korea get the momentum and get rolling on them, because we've seen it before with the Koreans. They start getting some momentum, and all of a sudden it's a
blowout.
It's a blowout, washout, blast them away kind of thing. So the Malaysians can't let that happen.
So now watch how Kelly goes at this split as well. Once again, it's logical, but it seems unconventional based on the league bowling I've seen the last, my whole life. Nobody goes at it this way.
Standing on the left side and trying to go between them, which doesn't work that time.
Yeah, she just missed the headbin to the left, to the right, and left them.
Yeah, it's amazing to me when I see somebody shoot that super washout like they would throw a strike ball. You're not going to make it that way.
Unless you're trying to go Brooklyn, and that just is not, small. You got to be perfect. Whereas the way Kelly went at it, you have a little more margin for error.
Please get on Facebook, Twitter. Let everybody know that you're watching our broadcast here on bowl.com. Right after this match, there'll be a brief break, and they will bring out the men for their semifinal round for the team event. Did they already run the lanes, or do they need to run them again?
They did run the lanes, so
they must be using 51 and 55 for the men, correct?
Correct.
Liz tickles the 10, but doesn't get the strike. Well, right now, Kelly and Liz, the two at the bottom of the lineup for Team USA, are struggling. Kind of holding them back a little bit. It's not been a great game for either of these teams, and look at this. Alicia Marcano completely whiffs on the 6-9 for an open frame.
Karen and Alicia had a chance to double there, and they both went high. Karen got her 3-6-10, and Alicia just
in with another big strike for a triple. So it's almost like the light switch came on in the Korea-Malaysia match, and they're starting to put some strikes on the board, and we're still just kind of walking around in the dark between USA and Venezuela. Not a whole lot going on over here. It's a very low-scoring, tight match.
Low-scoring, tight match, exactly. And the Korean-Malaysian match is starting to be a tight, high-scoring match. Malaysia throwing the last ball in the 4th frame. Has a chance to get their 3rd double in a row, which would put them further ahead of Korea. This is for putting them up just over 20 pins.
Yeah, Lee Jameson with another strike, and so you've got 3 of the Malaysians working on at least a double and 2 Koreans at least a double. Stephanie pulls that one. So in this match, we've had one double, right? USA and Venezuela. And in the other one, we've got 5 players working on a double right now. So shows you the difference in each of these matches.
Actually, looking back or remembering back, 57 and 58 for both the men and the women on this pattern was very high scoring. There were a lot of 1200s, 1100s, and 1200s on that pair. And I believe it might have been the Korean men actually that started on that pair yesterday and went lights out. The Team USA women bowled. They might have bowled their last match on 57 to 58 and shot a very big game.
The average score on 57 and 58 for the women on the medium pattern is 201.56. The overall average on the medium pattern, 198.36. So it is a higher scoring than the average, a little higher than the average.
A little higher, but I would have said it was at least 5 or 10 pins higher, but statistics don't lie.
But then 53 and 54 is 197.5, so it's
a little
good
lower.
4 pins a game below average, or below that pair, I should say. And there's a double for Team USA, Missy Parker.
She finally carries on that left lane. She left the 10 pin last time. Finally got it going. Another spare for the leadoff bowler for Malaysia. Has yet to strike, but one split for an open. She's kept them out of trouble. She's got to strike in if she really wants to help the team.
Joan lucky to get the 7 out on that one.
Yeah, again, she had a chance to double and couldn't pull it off.
Lead for Korea.
Go ahead.
Lead for Korea just threw her 3rd consecutive strike. I was waiting for Jason to flip the camera over there real quick, but they go at the same time, so it's hard to kind of match it up. They just kind of bowl at their own pace in each match, and they're a pair away from each other, so they don't really have to provide any courtesy that far over. And look at this, another open frame for Venezuela. They've missed too many easy spares early on here. 3 easy opens for Venezuela, and you can't afford to do that in any match.
Yeah, when you look at somebody like Stephanie, who leads a difficult split, but then picks it up, that's a huge difference. The opens that Team USA has had have been, a couple of splits and a super washout, and we picked up one of those splits and just have 2 doubles, whereas Venezuela has, a few too many easy spares that have been missed, and I don't know. They've all bowled enough that you have to look at nerves at this point.
Yeah, and I get the feeling that Team USA is the ball is starting to roll downhill, and it might start catching some momentum here pretty quickly. They're starting to put some strikes on the board now.
Yeah, that was a good ball there by Kara Marcano, but couldn't carry the 10 pin, whereas Team USA now has.
Big shot for Estrechilla for a triple. And the Malaysian guys are cheering, and Liz with her 3rd consecutive bad shot on the left lane.
Yeah, and she pulls up out of that shot immediately. She knows immediately that she didn't throw a good shot. I don't know if she's sticking on that pair or she just can't get it off her hand.
Something's causing her to pull it each time, because she's pulled all 3, I think.
Yeah, she has. If she's got a mental block on that particular lane, or she sticks every time. I'm not sure.
I'm always excited every time Shaolin steps on the approach and she's striking, because the excitement and the emotion is contagious.
Yeah.
And right now, the Malaysians are doing pretty good, trying to keep pace with Korea. This is a pretty close match. Shaolin's ball reaction looking pretty good, with the 10 pin on that one.
Looks like she fired that one a little harder.
Yeah.
And it scooted down the lane a little bit longer and just didn't get a chance to finish like the previous 3.
That'll equal a flat 10 just about every time when you throw it through the break point almost.
Yep. Too much loft, too much speed, one or both.
It's hard when you get amped up in a match like this and you're just so excited and ready to go, and sometimes that happens.
You got to control those emotions, and that's what's really hard about our sport.
Sun almost knocked down the 10 when the pin coming across, but she does not. It's good news for Malaysia.
Yes.
A much higher scoring match between Malaysia and Korea than Venezuela and the USA. This is trouble.
Uh-oh.
Another missed single pin.
Back-to-back whiffs for Alicia.
You just kind of, you get the feeling that it's just not there for Venezuela right now. It's hard to see them coming back from this. I mean, too many mental mistakes early on. They need to regroup.
And USA has given them plenty of opportunities, and they're not taking it.
Wow, big Brooklyn.
Three-bagger Brooklyn. You got to love that.
Yeah, take that to the bank. The Malaysian team is
I wasn't sure if that was a horn or
I think that was somebody's voice.
Yeah.
Stepping
That
in
was a
rings
good
of
shot.
10, yeah.
Stephanie started pretty solid, but that's her best shot in a few frames, so hopefully that gets her going again. That one's high on the left lane. It seems like the left lane has a few people going high more often than not, and I don't know if they're sticking and pulling it or if it's looking a little sooner over there.
Brew, sixth frames, kicking things off, and that one never had a chance to get back to the head pin. Too far right. You can just tell by looking at the body language for Venezuela, it's way different than it was a frame ago.
Yeah,
Before they were hugging each other and looking like real in team mode, and now they're just kind of all standing there, shrugging their shoulders a little bit. It's been a rough start for them.
Yeah, a few too many opens in the last couple frames.
Great shot by Siti Safaya of Malaysia.
Her first strike, so it gets her going again. We got
another open for Venezuela. What do they say? When it rains, it pours. And right now it's pouring on Venezuela. It's just not going well. Esther needs to find a way to put a double on the board here for Venezuela. Maybe give them a little momentum. They haven't had a double yet, and we're in the sixth frame. Got a chance. Hey, there we go.
This is even though it's the medium pattern, it's still a fairly short pattern, and she's playing that a little different than anybody else here right now. Middle of the lane, barely leaking it to the right. It's almost a little bit of a fallback. Shiny ball.
Big shot there for Jacqueline Segur as she strikes for a double. They're waiting on a ball return on 54, so that's why Missy wasn't able to bowl just yet. Well, Lee is carrying the load right now for Korea. That's
her four. That's four in a row.
Yeah. Yep. Nobody else has had that many strikes in a row at this point, although Esther has a chance to match that.
Exactly.
Missy Parkin looking for 3 in a row, the only one with a string of strikes for Team USA. And snaps out the 10 for the strike.
That's a big one. If Team USA can throw another couple in a row here, they'll have 3 doubles in a row and start to really put themselves away, stepping away from Venezuela.
Remember, the gold medal match is tomorrow afternoon. So these teams will have, the winning teams will have a night to sleep on it, reset, control the emotions, and get ready for tomorrow for the team final. Shannon O'Keefe looking for a double. Oh, wow. Blowout 7. That's a great shot.
That's not what you expect to see when you see the ball going into the pocket.
Yeah, that shot's gonna carry 9 out of 10 times for Shannon, I would think. Kim with a awkward leave there, a 3-6-9 in the 6th.
Yeah, and Esther did not strike for her 4-bagger on lane 58. She's looking to cover her 4-pin that she left. Team USA's Shannon O'Keefe carries the spare of a 7-pin. Esther's shot looks good. Shaolin will be up next for Malaysia.
Got Team USA up by about 50 at this point. And if Kelly were to strike, it would go to about almost 60 pins.
Yeah, she's looking for a double. That would be a big step forward. Karen Marcano on 53. Struggled so far today. That one's going high again, just like the last ball on that lane. herself to 3-6-10 last time. Now she leaves to 6-10 this time.
Looks like Malaysia's up by about 30 before that shot, but now he's split for Charlene Zulkifli.
She did almost the same thing. She either missed right. We have a little bit of a bad angle. She either missed right or she
and a split for Kelly
got
Kiflin.
it way too far down the lane before it started to move. So Kelly's didn't look much different. Things are starting to happen here. A lot of splits and a lot of shots through the middle of the pins.
Well, we were starting to get some momentum going. The strikes were starting to come in that Korea-Malaysia match, and it's like somebody took a pin and put it in the balloon and puffed it because most of the momentum is just screeching halt. There was
some cheering. I think there were fans here earlier. I'm not sure where they went because it's very quiet here right now.
It is quiet. It's hard to cheer when there's a low-scoring match, but sometimes these low-scoring matches can be pretty interesting.
Yes, this is where you see some character out of who can really grind it out, who can really make sure they cover the spares and get a double here and there. That's what it's all about when it's tough. These patterns are tough. These four teams obviously are the cream of the crop and put up some big numbers, but that doesn't mean that they're easy in any case at all.
Big split for Lee Jane Sin of Malaysia on the three-bagger. A super washout for Alicia Marcano.
She needs to get that. That'll be her third open in a row if she doesn't figure out how to pick that one up.
I don't know, Neil. It just after watching 2 days of bowling, it just feels brutal. Like they just feel absolutely impossible at this point. I mean, I don't remember seeing this on the medium pattern in the qualifying. People were whacking them and they were striking left and right. Now there's splits everywhere.
Yeah, I remember seeing some big scores on 57 and 58. At least I saw some big scores there, and Team USA had just whacked them on this pattern yesterday.
Another open frame for Venezuela. Can't falter on an open on that one though.
Yeah, that was fairly close.
Well, listen, the average score on the medium pattern in the team event for the women is 198.21. And then on the fresh, it's 196.3, which is a full 15 pins higher than on the short. So, but right now, I mean, 196.3 would be almost 1,000 for the game, not 980. And right now, we're not really going at a pretty high pace here, especially the Venezuela-USA match.
Yeah,
that one's a little higher scoring.
Korea and Malaysia might be close to 1,000 pace right now, but definitely not on the USA-Venezuela side.
I mean, you're looking more at a 900 pace.
Yeah. It's still early, but I'm not seeing a sign of anything.
Yeah. Right? Maybe that'll get the Venezuelans pumped up.
They gotta know it's anybody's match right now. There's a double for Malaysia out of their leadoff bowler who hadn't struck up until now, and now she's doubled. Jacqueline's going to step up. She's got a double on the line, so.
There's a strike for Stephanie. Now, Neil, I would imagine that the lanes were oiled quite a while ago. Does it have any impact when the lanes sit? Does that impact things at all when they sit for a while after being oiled?
Yeah, they definitely have an impact. There's some. There's a 7-pin that doesn't allow Esther to get a 3-bagger. There's a few things that go on. I'm trying to figure out how to de-technify this, but surface energy between the oil and the lane surface, and the longer it sits, the more the oil typically wants to adhere to that surface. So it definitely impacts how it carries down, how it breaks down, how it opens up, and perhaps that's our difference here today. It's definitely been more humid for Las Vegas. It's not humid by any stretch of the imagination, but comparatively, much more humid than any August I've ever spent here. It's rained here half a dozen times, which is probably as many times as I've seen it rain in this city in my life.
Well, Missy with 3 in a row.
That looks pretty good.
Well, she's the shining star right now for Team USA.
That was off her hand very well. Korea, late chip on the 7th pin.
Yeah, Kim with a strike on the 7th. Came on a spare. Lee has thrown 5 strikes in a row for the Koreans. This is going through the face. But, you know, even if the pattern is playing a little different, you know, there's been a lot of mental errors as well in these matches so far.
Yeah, some of the shots, you know, that haven't struck, you can tell immediately that it was pulled or it was, you know, it was a bad shot. And then the mental errors on the spares by Venezuela this game have been pretty obvious.
No problem on the spare there for Joan Gonzalez in the 7th. Shannon O'Keefe looking to make the spare. It's about a 46 pin lead for Team USA right now with 3.5 frames to go.
And Korea-Malaysia is only 1 frame behind right now, but I'm not quite sure. Esther's been standing, waiting for...
Well, they had a score correction.
Oh,
They had put a gutter ball up on the board, so they had to solve that. But
I figured there was something going on over there that I missed because she let a couple of shots go by Korea before she was stepping up. Now here she's ready to go.
Seems like that match is pretty even at this point. Greek church for Esther.
That left lane is definitely a tricky lane for them down there. 57 is Kelly Kulik. That was her best shot of the day, I think.
Yeah, it was a good shot.
She needs to strike on the right lane to get something going. She's had 2 opens on the right lane in a row now. Karen Marcano converts her spare. She's gone high 3 times in a row, so she needs to figure something out quickly. Esther only got 1 out of that Greek church. She really needed to get the pin count. Pin count in a 1-game match like this is magic. You know, two pins right there might come back to haunt you.
Strike for Liz, so 4 of the 5 with a strike in the 7th. Liz was awful on that lane to start this match, and that was
that's the first time she didn't immediately stand up. If Alicia here on the right lane can do something, she has 3 opens in a row. She needed that. She needed to do that, and now she can get back on track if she can throw another one, and that'll get them pumped up.
Xiaolin trying to get back on track after the split. She pulls it.
She threw a few strikes and she got hyped up, and now her pace seems too quick. She's always an aggressive bowler, but that's a little fast for her. Another score correction.
Yeah, it keeps putting the gutter ball up on that right lane for some reason. Not sure why. Stephanie looking for a double. Team USA with a chance to really pull ahead with a big frame here.
Oh, little light.
Light 4-pin.
Yeah.
Team USA's up about 50 pins or so.
Xiaolin covers the 3-6.
Yep, no problem on the spare for Xiaolin. Korea's got a couple of doubles working going into the 8th, which is going to help them out. I think that Korea has a very slight lead right now. Hey, we got a double. Patricia De Faria with a double for Venezuela. Maybe that's just what they need here. They need to get something going if they want to have a chance to stick with Team USA, and that was a big shot. Big shot for Lee Jane Sin in Malaysia in the anchor spot. She's bowled great this week.
The Malaysian crowd starting to get fired up as well. They know it's neck and neck with Korea, and it's going to be key here. Korea has 4 strikes building in this coming frame.
Looks like it's about a 28 pin lead for Korea.
Extra strikes for Team Venezuela. They have 2 in a row, and they are fired up.
Well, they got to keep it going. Let's see what.
Joan getting some extra advice there from one of the coaches.
Let's see what Ru does here in the 8th for Korea, working on a strike.
Yeah, it looks a little right. Oh, it came in nicely.
Koreans don't get too excited over strikes like the Venezuelans do they?
Nah, that's
little
not
different
in their culture. Yeah,
different cultures for sure.
Missy with 4 in a row steps up in the 8th. Good off the hand and carries 5 in a row.
Well, Missy is carrying the load right now for Team USA.
She's the only one that's consistently hitting the pocket. Where Shannon's hitting the pocket all right, but not carrying much of anything. And Kelly and Liz, and even Stephanie have not.
Good shot by Joe. So Venezuela, 3 strikes this frame, 4 strikes in a row overall. So maybe
they are not out of it.
Yeah, things may be shifting their way here. Lee, who has really carried the Koreans here in the 8th frame, working on 5 in a row. Got another one.
That was dead solid. It's about as excited as they get, I think.
Shannon rings another 10. Yeah, the Koreans keep it very much in check, keep the emotions very calm, and don't get overexcited about what's going on out there, which I think is a good rule of thumb. I mean, I don't think you want to get too overexcited too early in the match. Believe me, they get excited when they win, for sure.
Yeah.
And Karen can't keep the momentum going for Venezuela. It's a baby split with a little sleeper in the back.
It was a good move for her, though. She didn't go through the face again on that lane, so. Shannon covers her 10-pin. She is hitting the pocket pretty consistently, but her carry percentage is minimal at this point. Miss is the only one that's consistently hitting the pocket and carrying it for Team USA. Jacqueline on lane 58 for Team Malaysia puts it through the face for another split. Seen our fair share of those this match, these 2 matches. Korea with a 10-pin covered spare. Kelly Kulik up on 54. Little light.
Kelly's really struggled this game.
Yeah.
No chance to get to 200 now. Thought she had a chance to make the split, but it's an open frame for Venezuela in the 8th.
So I think the next shot is going to be by Esther from Team Malaysia down on lane 58. She had a Greek church her last shot, so let's see if she can get it back in the pocket here for. Now she over adjusts and gets it a bit light for a 258, almost a bucket. Kelly Kulik covers her spare. With the scoring pace, sometimes you just got to keep out of trouble and cover those spares and let somebody like Missy take over and keep striking.
Open frame for Esther.
Back-to-back opens for her.
Back-to-back opens for the team, too. And things definitely have swung even more in Korea's favor in that 8th frame.
Liz Johnson gets her first double of the match. Hope to see if Venezuela can capitalize on some of those strikes in the top of the order. Alicia covers her spare. Shaolin up on lane 58. She had a string earlier and now has not struck in 3 frames. That looks a little better.
Oh no, at 210, and I think Malaysia's in a lot of trouble right now.
That looks slower to me. It looks like more her natural pace, but did not make it back.
I would guess that. Here's a look at the scoreboard for USA and Venezuela.
About 50 pins.
Yep. Up by a little more than 50. Let's call it 60. As they start the 9th frame. I get the feeling that Korea's going to step up and pop a few strikes in the 9th frame and really take control of that one. That is their history. That's what they normally do in these situations. They normally step up and put their foot on the throat and take them out. You see it so many times.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens over and over again. You come to expect it.
Yeah.
Stephanie with a strike in the 9th frame to kick things off for Team USA. Same thing for Team USA. They've got a chance if they can put some strikes on the board here in the 9th, and especially connect to the other strikes. They could start to build some ground here.
Wash out for Esther of Team Venezuela.
Flat 10 for Malaysia. Well, it looked pretty promising for Malaysia a couple of frames ago, but it's really slowed down here. Too many splits, too many opens.
Yep.
They've had 6 opens in the last 3 frames, and that's not a good sign.
Yeah, this frame alone, they've had 3 opens, no strikes, whereas Korea has 4 strikes, 1 spare going into the 9th. If they just get a few strikes, they're really punching the accelerator.
Well, Missy Parkin has been the difference maker in this match between Team USA and Venezuela. I mean, virtually the entire plus over Venezuela they have has come from Missy at this point, and Stephanie as well. But
looking at the scoring of Korea and Malaysia, we're able to see that Korea has, what's their lead there?
Well, it's going to be a lot if they throw some strikes here. It's quite a bit. Take a closer look at it on my screen here.
Shannon O'Keefe strikes to keep Team USA rolling.
I've got Korea up 100 going into the 9th.
I suppose I should be in a little bit.
Look at this.
Oh, and a
huge
trip
break.
4-9.
Peru, what a break for them. So like I said, Korea can really put their foot on it here and put this away in the 9th frame almost. Well, Junko's a double, so she's trying to help keep them in it, but Team USA could have pretty close to 80-pin lead going into the 10th frame if they get a couple of strikes out of Kelly and Liz.
I would put Korea's lead at 80 as well after that strike and split combination of Korea and Malaysia in the top of the 9th. Well, Team USA did not look as dominant as they did yesterday, and they left the
sure
door
not.
open for Venezuela. And if you're Korea about to face them tomorrow, you have to be happy about the way things look.
Well, the Venezuelans aren't cheering quite as loudly as they were earlier for strikes. They are throwing some more strikes here at the end, but they also still have a couple of opens in these last 2 frames, so it's not a good combination. Korea just had a split there, and as did Malaysia. So
Kelly covers her spare, which I said earlier, that if you're not going to strike, you just got to keep out of trouble. Get your spares. Let Missy carry the team right now.
A spare for Korea.
So they both split, but Korea covered theirs. They already have a double in this frame. They got to be up at least 80 to 90 pins right now with a frame and a half to go. Malaysia has 4 opens in the last 5 frames.
4 out of 5 for Venezuela in that frame. But unfortunately for them, Team USA can do the exact same thing, and they have strings of strikes. 2 strings of strikes as well. Well, so does Venezuela, but the problem for Venezuela is they're just not making up any ground.
Yeah, they have 1 more frame to make up way too much ground. Liz can punch this one here.
Oh
wow.
8 pins.
That was painful, but yeah, still 3 out of 5, and Venezuela's 4 out of 5. They need to string some, and they need some luck to go their way. When I say string some, I mean string a lot. Esther from Malaysia leaves a 7-pin. Liz Johnson covers up the 8-pin. We have another scoring issue on lane 58. But if we look at scoring on Team USA Venezuela match, we're still at about 70 pins lead for Team USA.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I've got Korea up 100 right now in Malaysia. With a couple of more bowlers to go in the 9th and the 10th frame.
Yep.
If Korea can throw a strike here and get another one out of Sun, I don't see any scenario where Malaysia can win this thing.
Yeah, it's a pin count scenario at that point.
Wraps the 10 there, but
yep.
Spares are okay at this point for Korea. Big shot here for Stephanie, Team USA, as they try to put Venezuela away.
First ball in the 10th, that's a little wide. Comes back very nicely.
Double, big double for Team USA. Haven't been many doubles in that game for Team USA other than Missy and Stephanie.
Shaolin misses the head pin right on lane 57. Patricia with a key ball here. She needs this
has
one.
to strike here. Big split, and that might just about do it for Venezuela. They really could not afford to not have her strike on a couple of shots in the 10th.
You know, that swing right there puts the lead at about 90.
Yeah,
and,
it's a 20-pin swing right there.
There's not even a full frame left.
And if Stephanie strikes again here, it becomes a 30-pin swing, and they put them up 100. So it's starting to shape up like it's going to be the USA versus Korea for the gold tomorrow, which
at
the start of the week, I think a lot of people would have guessed that would how it would end up.
Yeah, would have been some predictions for that, but also
another strike for Steph.
Big one
gets her in the 220s.
Would have been a prediction at the beginning of the week, but maybe not a prediction 2 days ago.
Yeah, that's true. Well, another strike for Korea. They are in great position going into the 10th frame.
Yeah, they are up 100 to 110 with the last frame to go. Venezuela left a 4-pin. Esther left a 4-pin in the first ball in the 10th. Stephanie throwing her fill ball here. That looks good.
Good for 6.
Good for 6.
220 for Stephanie. By the way, the men's semifinal is coming up after this. It's scheduled to start in a little more than an hour at 7:15.
Correct. Practice will start at 7 and live streaming at 7:15.
And I would assume that they won't start any earlier than that, unless all of the teams were here. But
yeah, they're probably all here, but they may not be prepared, so they probably won't rush it.
And I'm really glad that we didn't have all 4 semifinals going on at the same time. It would have been a bit much to deal with.
This is a bit much to deal with. Just
It
makes
is.
for a long day and a late night.
And the good thing is that all the teams get their due.
Yeah.
They get their moment to shine, and right now it's Missy Parkin who has pretty much, between Parkin and Nation, they've carried Team USA here in what will be a rather unconvincing victory against Venezuela. I mean, they've not bowled terribly well.
Well, Missy threw 147 in a row this game, so I think that helped.
Missy strike spare and then has kept striking since then, I think, right? Or did she go spare, strike, spare? She can max at 270, so she must have gone spare, strike, spare to start the game. We can't see the beginning of the game on the scoreboard. Well, Korea opened in the 10th from their leadoff bowler, but I still think they're in pretty good shape. Four pin
there.
At least the 9 got out. I was thinking the 9 might stay for a split second. But
that would have made a lot of people nervous.
Yes, it would have. But Lee has bowled a great game for Korea. She's going to be in the 240s if she makes the spare. Missy trying to close it out here. That one is a little light.
Ooh, and she tripped the 2 out of there to leave the 10th in. Looking at a 259. Solid effort. Far and away the highest score on the pair.
Yeah, by almost, 40 pins.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive display for the World Championships rookie, as I guess we could call her, right?
Yeah, I guess we could call her that. She's had plenty of experience, even on the world stage, but from a Team USA standpoint, it's been a few years since she's even been on Team USA, and I believe this is her first selection for the World Championships. Came through in the clutch.
Great finish for Joan. She can get to 215, be high on the team for Venezuela. 247 for Lee. It's a great game.
There's Shannon got a double, carried the 10 a couple of times in a row. She throws another one here. She can actually break the 200 barrier. Now Jacqueline for Malaysia really needed a strike there. That was a chance for a double. She leaves the 10 pin. Malaysia's made up 10 pins, but now Korea has just doubled and taking it right back. They're still up 100 with 3 bowlers to go. We're having scoring issues on lane 58. So that one's going to be delayed for another few minutes while they reset the 10 pin.
Yes. I think that Korea and the USA definitely are going to win at this point. I think it's pretty much certain to say that they're going to meet for the gold medal tomorrow afternoon right here on Bowl TV.
That is the big rivalry match.
It really is.
And should be interesting. And when I say rivalry, I don't so much mean they hate each other. It's just we find each other playing for some of the top medals in the world at the World Championships. Team USA and Korea find themselves 1-2 quite often, and it's just the way it is. Shannon pulls out a 2:01. Looks like she found something there. She's got to feel better now going into tomorrow.
Team USA might actually get to 1,000 this game. It's possible.
It didn't look possible right about the fourth frame.
No, it did not. Certainly did not.
Korea's looking at a closer to 1,100 actually.
Yeah, they've put together a really quiet, big game. They could, if they strike out the final two bowlers, they can definitely get right at 1,100.
Yeah. Kelly gets her strike in the 10th. Maybe she can throw another one here and get a little comfortable, get a little more confidence for tomorrow. Kelly and Liz are going to need some confidence going in tomorrow, but Missy and Stephanie ought to feel pretty good. And Shannon finished rather well, so that should help. But Korea looks solid, and it's going to be a great match tomorrow.
It will be, and it's going to be some great semifinals coming up this evening in the men's division. United States versus Denmark and Korea versus Finland.
Yeah, as far as the lane patterns for this evening, USA, surprisingly.
Wait, let me guess. Don't tell me. Yeah, go ahead, tell me. Go ahead.
They chose the long pattern. They're going to bowl on Paris. No, they chose the longer pattern, of
medium.
course. The medium pattern of Seoul. But
and don't tell me, the Koreans picked the short.
They did.
Yeah. Hey.
Against Finland, I think that's a good choice.
I would completely agree.
You know, that Korea bowled well on both the short and the medium patterns. But Finland struggled on the short and bowled very well on the medium. So it's a very logical choice for Korea to make. And that'll be interesting to see if Finland can do anything to keep pace with Korea on that short pattern.
Yeah, and we'll find out in about an hour from now when the men's semifinals get underway.
Kelly finishing out her game with a spare.
I would not have guessed that Kelly Kulik wouldn't shoot 168. That would not. If you had told me that before we started, I would have
laughed at you.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that was possible. I would have guessed that she would shoot a lot more than that. And I mean, Liz is going to be right there with her at about the same score.
Yep.
But Team USA got lucky that Stephanie, Missy, and Shannon stepped it up and carried them to the win. Because otherwise, it could have been a lot more interesting. They also got lucky that Venezuela made a lot of mental mistakes, because if Venezuela made those, 5 or 6 easy spares that they missed, I mean, it's within 50 or 60 pins, and it's a different match.
Yep. It's a good 50 to 60 pins, and that would put this neck and neck right now. Charlene finishing up down on lane 58.
Yeah, great run by both Malaysia and Venezuela to make it to this point. It is no easy task to make the semifinals in the team event. It's a very tough event to advance out of. And so a very well-deserved bronze medal for Malaysia and for Venezuela.
Exactly. You know, if you'd asked either of those teams coming in if they'd be happy making the semifinals, they both would. They'd take their chances. They'd be happy, and they should be proud. You don't get here by accident. Nobody gives it to you. They bowled very well on both patterns. They deserve to be here, and I'm sure they both countries will be very happy with their team bronze medals, which is quite an accomplishment.
Alicia Mercano strikes out for Venezuela. They shoot 921. Last shot for Liz Johnson is 8. And Team USA shoots 1,014. So A little bit closer and lower scoring than we would have expected, but Team USA comes away with the win 10-14 to 9-21 in that semifinal. The other semifinal still finishing up. Korea ended up with 10-65. Great total for them. And it's going to be a real interesting gold medal match tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, they had a good chance at 1100, but just a lot of spares in the 10th. Really only pulled out one double, so they didn't make it to 1100. Shaolin doubles in the 10th to get to 201. There we have another double. And too little, too late for Malaysia, but they're happy.
Yeah, they're going to end up losing by a little more than 100. It looks like.
Bronze medal in the World Championships and team is quite an accomplishment, especially in this event where you had to qualify to get here in the first place. This is the best of the best, the elite teams of the world, 36 men's teams, 36 women's teams. Malaysia's still cheering. There's a three-bagger.
I think they'll be happy with taking a bronze. Be happy to get any medal at all in the team event.
Exactly.
And
no
shame in losing to Korea. They're a great squad.
Yeah. Korea put up a pretty big number as it was.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to end up being right at 100 pins. It's going to be the difference. 10-65 for Korea and 9-66 for Malaysia.
Yeah, still not a bad score.
No, a good score and pretty competitive for most of the match. Korea just pulled away at the end. Well, that's going to do it for our coverage of the women's semifinals. The finals will be tomorrow, the gold medal match. It's going to be the United States versus Korea. We've seen that before at the World Championships in the women's division. And that women's team final scheduled for 12:45 p.m. tomorrow here at Strike Zone Sunset Station and on Bull TV as well.
Sorry to interrupt. I just figured out why it went this way. Looking at Joan from Venezuela, her bag right there, she's got a Team USA bag.
Nice.
Sorry, I couldn't help but notice that.
And our men's semifinals are going to be coming up, scheduled to start at 7:15. If for some reason it were to start early, we would let you know on our Twitter site, at USBC, and on our Facebook page, facebook.com/USBC. Neil, thanks for sitting in, and we'll see everybody back here in a little bit less than an hour.
Yep, thanks for having me.